2 years ago I started this channel by making my then 2-year-old son a little mini Explorer type guitar for Christmas. Well, he still has that guitar, but his older sister, who's now 5, has asked Santa for a guitar for Christmas. And she's also said that she wants one with flowers on it. And it needs to be an electricity guitar, whatever that means. Now you may ask, why am I doing a Partscaster, not building her a guitar? Well, I will build her and her brother a guitar someday, but for now I don't have the time to do that. I'm in the middle of too many projects, work's been really busy on the side, and a Partscaster is the best way to go. So I found this beautiful looking Squier neck. It's a maple neck. It's crafted in Indonesia. It's covered in a bit of dust. It's been sat in here for a week or two. And we are going to swap out these tuners. And if you can see, it's a Squier Thinline neck. A couple of reasons I went for a Squier instead of a Fender. The first one being, I can't really afford a Fender right now. Second being, I actually find the Telecaster Thinline neck for this at a pretty reasonable price. And now you've maybe seen this on one of my shorts or TikToks or something like that. We can get rid of that, can't we? We don't need a neck pickup. There you have it. I think that hits her brief pretty well, and fairly certain she's going to be happy with this. Now, this is actually the first time I've attempted to try the neck here, so it's a pretty tight fit. I'm happy with that. To go with the body, I bought this kind of off-white or vintage white pickguard. I was going to go with the pearl to kind of stick with this, but to be honest with you, as much as I like the pearl, I thought it was a bit too much and it took away from the rest of the body. You know, there's a lot going on here with the flowers and the burst and then the sparkle underneath. I thought plain would be nicer. I did consider black, but I don't think my daughter will like that as much. If it was my guitar, I probably would put black on it. All gold hardware. Which I think is going to look absolutely killer. So as you can tell, we're going to do a bridge only build. No surprise there. I posted on my Instagram asking you lot, well, you lot if you follow me on Instagram, what pickup I should put in the bridge. I specifically asked for a cheap pickup or a budget pickup because, like I said, I don't have a lot of money to do this with. However, I got some great responses to that question. However, I find this second hand. It's a Seymour Duncan T3B, if that means anything to anyone. Seymour Duncan in the bridge. That is going to be killer, especially as a first guitar. So I'm excited. It just needs a bit of a clean up. It's quite dirty. I'm hoping that I can bring that back with a bit of cleaning. If not, we'll maybe try some sort of dye or something on it. But anyway, I got it for I think £50 or maybe just under £50, which I thought was pretty good. And we just know it's going to sound killer. So at least that's something. And yeah, I mean the rest of the hardware, it's just all gold stuff. You know, it's fairly self-explanatory. There's not much else then than to just get into it, start putting it together, start building it. I know some people hate me saying building it, so I'm just going to say it. Start building a Partscaster. Alright, tuners are going to have to wait. These are actually left-handed. If you can see the originals, the tuning peg sits at the top, but also it's not going to match the holes or the indentation. Now I could just use them and drill new holes and get away with using the left-hand ones. It's not going to make a huge difference. However, I want it to be right. I'll get a set of right-hand ones either ordered from the same seller, or I'll get them somewhere else so I get it in time. It's getting pretty tight to the wire here, but yeah. Let's get the rest of it built up and we'll worry about the tuners later. I'm just going to use a cotton bud and a little bit of non-alcoholic panel prep to see if I can clean this up any. It's the same kind of cleaner that I would use before painting, just to get the dust and grime off the guitar. Now it looks good right now, but that's because it's wet, so first thing I'm going to do with this body is put this damn bridge ground in, because if you watched any of my videos you'll know that I always forget it. So here we go. Start of something new, isn't it? Okay, so I think I might have to adjust the neck slightly this way, but that's just by looking at it. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll wait till I get the new tuners and then we'll test fit it with strings before we start messing around with that. But thankfully with bolt-on necks it's a little bit easier. I can just loosen these bolts, really pull the neck across. Or worst case scenario, if I take the neck off, I can just sand along the sides as I need to and make minor adjustments. It is quite a tight fit, so we may have to do that, but I'm not too worried. With bolt-on necks it's pretty easy. Next thing I'm going to do is put this little jack socket in. think I'll solder 2 wires onto it, stick it in here, and we'll have all the wires ready to go. I have a pot here. It's just a little Alpha 500K sort of penny sized pot, or 2p sized, I don't know, maybe big one, dime sized, quarter sized, I don't know, nickel sized. Probably stick the strap buttons on it today, not a big deal. I'm not sure if we'll show it in camera or not. And then nearly time for the pick guard. I'll probably leave this to the end. I want to wait until I get the neck adjusted properly before I put the pick guard on, because it's quite a tight fit around the neck as well. Yeah, pretty much near enough done for the day, I guess. It's just needs soldered. That's all I'm going to do with this for now. I probably will screw the jack socket in. I'll just drill a couple holes, do that off camera, you don't need to see that. Like I said, I want to get the tuners on and a couple strings on it, make sure the neck is set perfectly before I screw the pick guard in, because the pick guard's very tight to the neck. So I mean, I probably could put the pick guard on now, but yeah, I think I'll just wait. There's no rush, that's the last thing I can do anyway. I might end up putting a tone on this as well. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it is for a 5-year-old at the end of the day, so a tone's definitely not necessary, but she might like to play around with it. I'll experiment with the different sounds, but we'll see. One thing I've always been curious about, at what point does a guitar become a Squier or a Fender, for example? Could you call this a Squier? Could you say it's now a Squier Thinline Telecaster, or, you know, what part of the guitar holds the brand? Is it the neck? Is it the body? Is it both? Is it all that parts together? It's always posed an interesting question for me. For example, if I have a Fender Stratocaster and I take the neck off it and I put a Warmoth neck on it, does that stop being a Fender Stratocaster? Or how about if I have a Fender Stratocaster and I take all the pickups off it and I modify it, I put some bare knuckle pickups or a Seymour Duncan, is it no longer a Fender because it doesn't have the original components? Or if I have a Fender Stratocaster and I take the body off and I put a Warmoth body on it, but everything else is Fender from factory, Is it no longer a fender? Do I have to stop calling it a fender? I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on that? You can think about it while I wait 5 days for the tuners to arrive. You just have to wait a frame or two, I suppose. We're back, and this is where we left off. This time I have some Guyker tuners. They are, if it'll focus, they're the vintage shape, and they are locking tuners this time. Now, these are pretty reasonably priced if you buy them straight from China. I bought them on Amazon because I needed them a bit quicker, so I think I paid 25 or 28 pounds, something like that, for them, with Prime, just to get them here a bit quicker. Ah, you bollocks. Alright, the holes aren't big enough. What a pain in the ass. Let's widen them. .7, so 10 mil should do. What have I got here? 8. Okay. I only sent 6 screws, and of course there's 7 holes, so thankfully we kept the other gold ones, so I'll just fill that little hole with one of the screws from the other gold ones. Typical. Okay, as I suspected, the neck alignment is slightly off. You can see here, too close to the edge of the fretboard for this high E string. So easy fix. The reason it's like that is because I used the original screw holes for the neck, and I was just chancing it to see if it worked with this body. Doesn't work, so what I'm going to do is take the neck off, fill the holes underneath, set the neck back on, mark where I want it, and we will bring the neck ever so slightly this way. There's enough room to bring it ever so slightly this way, and it'll be set perfect then. I'm pretty happy. It's not that much of an adjustment. Just means we have to fill these and wait for them to dry. Okay, so the hole's filled, and then I like to just tape it up because then I can see the marks better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the body exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to go through the body and just mark with this little pointed drill bit exactly where I want. So you can see this hole's pretty much the same. This hole's ever so slightly that way. The same with this one, and the same with this one. So filling it didn't really do too much, didn't move it too much, but I think this is going to be just enough to sort my string alignment out. Let's get it all bolted up again, and I'll see you when I'm putting the strings on. If you're wondering why I'm opening another new pack, I'm down to my last pack after this one. It's because I used the ones I opened just now on what will be my son's guitar for Christmas. And that guitar is one that I did years ago, and I never really used it, to be honest. It was probably back in my competition days, and I think I was going to do it as a competition and then didn't. I got these black string ferrules. I found them while I was cleaning out this workbench, and I think they look a lot better than those kind of off gold or silver, whatever they are, ones. And they fit better, to be honest. They sit right down in. So yeah, I think the black looks better than silver against all the gold hardware. Anyway, let's get this strung up. Okay, neck is on, it's all lined, strings are on, and I mean that was it playing through just a little Blackstar Fly 3 amp or 3 watt amp, and yeah, you can already hear the Seymour Duncan it's pretty good. I don't have a good recording setup, so I'm hoping to try to do something for you by the end of this video, but yeah, bear with me if not. I've intentionally left the pickguard off until now because I wanted to get the neck lined up. I didn't want to start drilling holes in the body and then maybe have to relocate them if the neck was slightly off, and I was right. So pickguard now and decide where I'm drilling the hole for the volume, and that's us done, I think. Oh, trim my strings. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the look of this guitar, if I do say so myself. Someone said in line with the pickup as a slant. That's maybe not a bad spot there. Let me get there we go. In line. My very straight edge here in my hand. Anyway, ignore me. To be honest, I mean, this is for a 5-year-old, right? And by the time that she's old enough to start playing properly, maybe she'll use neck pickups, which is something I don't do because I don't play properly. So at the end of the day, this probably doesn't matter as much as I'm making out. You know, it's just 5. I think there, I just, for now I want to go with what looks good over anything else, because she's not doing any volume rolls or anything, and yeah, I mean, if it was me, I don't need a guitar with a volume at all. I think the next guitar I build for myself will just be pick up straight to jack, because I mean anything else is wasting on me. Yeah, let's go here. Okay.